How's everyone? Who's here so far today? Looks like we have one person. Maybe. So, man, I didn't think I was going to make an entire hour in the afternoon live stream. Felt a little worn out. It was sort of the emotions of the day, Sold my dad's car. I thought it was going to be mine for duration. It only had 40,000 miles on it. It just had too many problems. It would have cost too much money to get on the road. It wouldn't pass the safety inspection. The owner of the shop said he'd buy it off of me. He'd waive the fees of what he had already done, which is basically safety inspection, and give me another $1,000. So hey, it was better than nothing, and there was a great sense of freeing myself from a little bit of a burden, although it leaves me carless. It leaves me without something that belonged to my dad, which never feels right, you know. Hey, Buddha of Destiny Namaste says hey, and good evening. How are you this evening? I'm doing pretty good. Hey, Austin, how are you? So yeah, maybe it was that, I just didn't feel like I was up for an extended conversation in the afternoon, and yet what turned out was a lot of fun. It was fun hanging out with everyone, and it was fun chatting, and we talked about YouTube channels and what we hope to accomplish. I know our friend Austin um, wants to monetize his channel. That's a worthy goal, and he puts out a lot of fun shorts and does some really fun live streams. So, hey, if I can help him in any way, I certainly want to. Our friend Squirrel Sniper is here, says, greeting again, Zarek. Greetings, Squirrel Sniper. Buddha says, I'm on a cell listening. Hey, Buddha, I really appreciate you being there this morning. This morning's live stream felt very inspired. Maybe it was because we had a lot of scriptures being quoted to us. I'm not opposed to scripture. I'm not a scriptorial person so much. You might hear me quote occasionally from the Bible, quite a bit from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Yoga Sutras, always from the Course of Miracles, it seems. And, if the occasion calls for it. But this is fairly relentless quoting from the scriptures. As in, if you don't believe this, you're absolutely wrong. Which, man, it's no way to win converts. Not that I'm going to convert to anything. Yep, I was talking about mine this morning. Squirrel Sapper gives a heart to the chat. Austin says, had a squirrel with some squirrel emojis. Austin says, how you doing today, Yogi? I'm not doing too bad, Austin. I appreciate you asking. And I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. Hey, Kayla, how are you? Kayla says, hi, Yogi, and big likes. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. Kayla's watching. Are you guys connected with Kayla? Buddha says, yes, I was in bed listening. Must have walked away at that time. Sorry, but I liked it. And hey to Kayla. Hey, Leo. Leo says, let's go, Yogi. Much love, bro. Much love to you. What's on the agenda for today? 40-pound weight vests, Navy SEALs. It's Navy SEAL Thursday. I forgot. Nope, it's Wednesday. What is Wednesday? Five-pound Wednesday? But yeah, it was an enjoyable talk this afternoon, this morning and this afternoon. I love talking about YouTube and what can be done, what we want to do. And then after the live stream, Let's see. Cypress says, Eric, what are your thoughts on the 4 seasons? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, with the 12 disciples of the 12 houses of the Zodiac. You know what, Sniper? I can't say I have any thoughts on that, but I could explore it. It sounds interesting. Just gonna cut and paste that so I have it up. We can dive in. So after the afternoon live stream, there's a couple good sites here. Scroll Sniper, the Zodiac and Scriptures, Ancient Insights. Quora says the connection between the 12 zodiac signs, that there are several throughout the Bible. Reddit and Bible, Genesis 1:14-18 suggests mankind is ruled by 12. Interesting stuff. Leo says, max 1 pumps. In with a vest, 40 minutes. Quick session before I pick up my daughter. Max 1 pumps. Man, 40-pound vest. Or with the vest, it's going to be 40, right? For 40 minutes. Simply says, and the Son of God, visiting each house every month. I love how everything points at connections. What's up, Runner Boy? Runner Boy says, I'll be live tomorrow. Usual time. Simply says, also in the Old Testament, every 59th letter spells out Torah and is repeated. Interesting. Goga. Goga says, Yogi. Hello, my friend. My favorite live streamer. Goga says, Squirrel, thank you for dropping earlier. 40-pound vest for 40 minutes. Only 1 pumps. No such thing as only 1 pumps when you're doing a 40-pound vest for 40 minutes. Especially when you bring the Leo intensity to the game. Once Leo starts, all gas, no brakes. Runner Boy says, yeah, around 9. Bobby was just wiggling my bum. Well, you know, my friend, everyone needs a hobby. I called it yoga. There are many paths of yoga. You found yours. Sniper says, Goga, great to see you. Austin says hi to Goga. Runner Boy says, everything has an end, but not everything has a beginning. Interesting thought. Goga says, hey to Austin. Everyone gets a hey. So after this afternoon's live stream, I went over to Stuart the Fish Whisperer and had a very enlightening moment over there. I don't know, do you guys follow Anyfin Is Possible? It's Bob's channel. He's in Pennsylvania. He's a fishing channel. He also does some hunting. I became friends with him, Mayhem and Miracles, but never really visited much. And then there's something about he was making venison sausage, his own, the sausage machine, which is about the last thing in the world you would think a vegan would tune into. Why would I watch that? But I don't know. I was drawn in. And Bob is so humble, kind-hearted, and He hunts for food for him, for his family, uses every bit of the animal. He's very respectful. I'd much rather see someone get their meat that way. Same with fishing. I see him very gently handle the fish, never trying to, even the fish that he's eventually going to eat, never causing intentional harm after he hooks him. Is it what I would do? Nope, it doesn't have to be. It's what Bob does. And I support him and what he does. So what Stuart the Fish Whisperer was saying, that he left his office, was miserable, couldn't take it, to be a professional YouTuber. He has an outdoor channel. Imagine that, declaring yourself a professional YouTuber. How scary is that, declaring yourself a professional YouTuber, full-time YouTuber? Which is what I'm doing. But I don't know if I've fully officially declared myself that yet. But I need to. This is what Stephen Pressfield, the author of The War of Art, obviously a play of The Art of War, who wrote his that book back in 1999, somewhere around there. And he calls it turning pro. Turning pro. Turning pro doesn't necessarily mean that you're immediately making money. It means that you have the professional attitude of showing up every day. Showing up every day. So here's the question. For whatever you guys want, are you showing up every day? For whatever it is. Doesn't mean you're putting out videos every day, but what is it that you love, that you're passionate about? Is it writing? When I read that book in 1999, I realized I had been playing at being a writer for 2 decades. I would write a little bit and then I'd complain I didn't feel inspired. You know why I wasn't inspired? Because I wasn't showing up. I was ignoring inspiration. Let's see. Runner Boy says, a quote from Peter Pan, death would be an awfully big adventure. I believe it will be. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate that. Sniper says, Runner Boy, what gets me is Pan. I'm a big fan of Pan. You got the Pan. You can't see it. Pan tattoo. Runner Boy says, I might try and do some coastal foraging and stuff. That would be pretty cool. Goga says, I love it. Goga shows up every day. Goga might be the most professional live streamer that I know. It's so smooth. He's on point. Everything he says. And here's the amazing thing. When you're that on point and yet being that spontaneous at the same time, making it look so effortless, because for him, it is effortless because he has a message and he's inspired. He's following his dharma, doing what he's supposed to do. I don't know. I never had the chance to talk to Goga about his channel. Is this something that he would love to do, like 100% full time? Is he already doing it 100% full time? But I think whatever he decides, that's going to be the thing for him, because again, it's just the smoothest channel imaginable. Sniper says, takes children without parents' knowledge. Pan plays flute. The Pied Piper plays the flute. Took all the town children. The theme runs deep. Interesting. Wonder Boy says, Pan is originally the god of death. Actually, Pan is originally the Greek and Mesopotamian god of wild places and fertility. Half man, half goat. Hey, William, how are you? Goga says, Eric, you are ready? You do 10 shows per day? I do a lot. That's for 3 live streams. And of course, my workout and my little Course Miracle talk. And man, it is just about 10, isn't it? I try to do 2 YouTube shorts, nature videos every day. The question is, though, is there an audience for this? There's an audience for conversation. Because when I think about it, when I boil everything down, workouts, nature, shorts aside, um, the main thing that I do is live stream. And I'm definitely not the polished live streamer that Goga is. Maybe getting better. Another thing, is it better to talk on point? I have this to talk about, and I'm going to keep circling back. Doesn't seem organic to me. Warm Heart says, alive for now, how are you? Not doing too bad, William. Sniper says, I was in Goga's chat earlier. He comes across very informative. Informative, infectious. Some might say that Goga is a little demure. Some might say that Goga is just a little bit demure. I don't know who would say that. I'm just saying some might say that. Let me know what you think about that, Goga. Would you use the term demure? Didn't see that coming, did you, my friend? Sniper says, save William Hart. William says, well, I thought it was the 49th letter. And 12 Sniper says he was right. Wonder Boy says, Yogi, I mean Peter Pan. Ah, okay. Not Pan. Peter Pan in the original fairy tale is the god of death. He steals children. Yeah, the original Peter Pan, a very dark tale. Before it was Disneyfied. Peter Pan was definitely someone you didn't want to mess with. Let's see. William says, hey, Squirrel, and yes, Pan the Death God and Pied Piper are the same. Goga says, thank you, Squirrel Sniper. William says, I binged the whole Love on 2 times speed, and then hung out with Chelly last night. Spoke on the air for a bit. Not sure what you mean, William. Sniper says, go get my pleasure, my friend. Hey, Asia, how are you? Sniper says, going hard. It was a great live stream. Burner Boy says, I'd like to see a film true to the original. It would be interesting. It would be interesting, wouldn't it? Didn't they make one maybe a few years back that was supposed to be closer to the original? Asia says he's good. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. All right. William says, there's an associate of yesterday's archaic guest interview yesterday. Gotcha. Sniper says, Eric, last night, Jason Archaix had the Greek on last night. Boy, it was a good one. I'll send you the link. Thanks. So, Goga, he has an uncanny ability to he'll read a comment and it might take him slightly off topic, and he'll explore it. He has something kind to say to everyone that comes in, but then he can weave his way back to the original topic. And as I mentioned before, I've never left a live stream without learning something. To me, that's how to do it. Because when I go off topic, I am way off topic, and I often never ever find my way back. Oh man, where am I getting hate from now? Still from Sudan. Wonderful day to you. Ultimate hate from Sudan. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate. For those who don't know, ultimate hate from Sudan doesn't mean ultimate hate from Sudan. It means, guys, I'm having fun. I enjoy being here. You take it in good spirit, which I do, which we all do. Muhammad is fast becoming a friend. I enjoy his company. Although, I got to say, I was expecting a different place than Sudan today. So thanks for coming in, my friend. William says it was too short and didn't cover enough. I tried to find the Greek dude as a ghost. Let's see. I think it was Paywalled or Patreon behind a $25 tier. I don't think he's banned. Goga said, laughing, second time I seen him, thought it was heat. Nah, he's having fun. We've come to enjoy his company. Goga said, laughing, Runner, I deleted it. Natural instinct, you know? Man, he had all of us going when he first came in. He seriously had us going. Goga says, sorry, Mo, I'm too sensitive for my with my mod powers. No, you're being protective. That's very much appreciative. William says, I mean, you're getting their attention, and regardless of it being ultimate or not, hate is not the inverse of love, but rather the illusion that they have a grievance with you, everything being a projection of themselves or their own state. How could it be anything but love? Man, that actually, that was awesome. Could not have said that better myself. I could not have read that better from elsewhere. So on the point, William, so on the point. One voice says they have made an arrangement, some would say. So both Anything Possible, a great outdoors channel. I hope you guys have an opportunity to check him out and subscribe to him. And Stuart the Fish Whisperer, who's in Scotland, sitting at his table, tying flies for fishing. And watching him is like watching a Zen master. And I told that to him because his hands are so steady. He's so focused, so calm, and yet at the same time has the ability to stay engaged with everyone on the live stream and just tell wonderful stories. They really inspired me to hear them say, this is what they want to do. And to have Bob go so far, anything is possible, to leave his office job that was making him miserable and say, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. So that's the stance I'm taking. This is it. What you see right here, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know if there's an audience for it. I don't know if it's even possible. Here's a question, guys. I have people sending me all the time how my SEO is really bad. It's actually non-existent. And how they can fix all this stuff. Is that a scam? Is it possible? Do I need it? William says, squirrel alpha was another word polluted by alteration of meaning over time. I could not find many other super significant changes using etymology. I will get that right sometimes. Some days, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I'm still looking. Austin says hi to William. Pray and pray has always got my attention. Milka finds a lot of that fascinating. Haven't been a linguist in the service. William says, so Austin, and there is, but you have to encourage people to engage on the videos more, commenting, etc. Watching full length, not setting your videos to notify subs is another way that seems to go. Not setting your videos to notify subs influence the algorithms. I understood absolutely none of that, William. That's how behind I am. Runner Boy says, Yogi, I have a film suggestion I think you would find interesting. Padma inverted? Patama? Hey, it gets a rave review from William Hart. I will look into that. Thank you, Runner Boy. You know if it's available on Netflix streaming service? Hey, William. How would you like to be hired to do some CEO work for me? What would you do? What would you do to help my channel? And how much would you charge? And I'd be happy to pay. Runner Boy says, this is my favorite film. Soundtrack is good. Yeah, it's on Netflix UK at least. I will look for it. William says, I tried to make the pistachio nut butter again. Left a husk on, and it came out quite well. Nice. Probably saved you a lot of trouble. Probably saved you a lot of trouble leaving the husk on, right? Wasn't that sort of the main issue? CEO. Let's see. William says I would do it for free. Thumbnail. I take a. You know what? I looked up thumbnails. I even went to Udemy. Is it Udemy? Udemy. And it didn't work out well. You got to do individual thumbnails for every single video. Doesn't it just make more sense to let the YouTube do it itself? Hey, Eric Lapointe. CEO work. I love this, Will. Goga says the point. Hey. Time and Udemy. Udemy. Gotcha. If anyone knew how to pronounce it, it's going to be William Hart. I've used them before for certain things. Nope. I'm thinking something else. I'm thinking something else. I'm thinking Fiverr, William. Eric Point says, hey to Goga. Runner Boy says, I use my phone like a screenshot and put it with some words on. like yoga, meditation? Well, I have been using keywords. William says, yes, but you can control Gemini AI to make generated thumbnails for you. Jacob says, yo, man, I've read your book. Hey, Jacob, which book? Which one are we talking about, my friend? William says, which one, Jacob? William says, Padima Inverted A available on Crunchyroll, Prime Video. I do have Prime Video and Canopy. I'll look for it. Eric Point says, nice. Oh, put it up in the thumbnail. I didn't know you could do that. Wonder Boy says, so no for thumbnail. No, for thumbnails, if your video is about meditation, put the word meditation in the thumbnail. I did not know that was possible. I learned that from Goga said that as well. Not to use tags inside your titles. There's a specific section for tags and for descriptions. You put it in the description, right? Warner Boy says that's all you need to stand out a bit more. I'm not sure I understand the thumbnails in the, or the, not the thumbnails, the tags inside the thumbnail. But I'm going to look around. Let's see. William says you may have to pay with Prime Video. I have Amazon Prime. So, well, even if I have to pay for the movie, that's no big deal. It still beats going to a movie theater. Only use 4 hashtags in the description. Yeah, I've been doing between 3 and 4. Thank you for that. Worm says they mean to transpose the text itself as an overlay. Man, you guys could be talking Latin for all the sense it makes to me. This is second language for you guys. For me, it's a foreign language. Where it says, so they mean to transport the text itself as an overlay to the thumbnail image. You can use image editing software. I'm not sure I can. Even Paint, but as I said, Gemini can do it. It's free and Google owned and powered. Eric Point says, how about doing the air release yoga pose and tag Mr. Poopinator? That would be funny. That would be funny. I'm going to have to think about that, Eric. Worm says, I can answer the majority of your questions on it. But that's the problem. I'm not even sure the right questions to ask. Goga says, thanks, William. Never used Gemini. Let me play with it. Oh, wow. I'll be interested to see what you make of it, Goga. Boy says, no tags in thumbnail. I mean, if the video is about meditation, have the word meditation put in your thumbnail on an editing app. Then upload it onto video when posting. See, I'm extremely low tech. I have a fairly cheap phone. I don't have a whole lot of apps because I have a ton of nature videos on my phone for future uploading. I can't, honestly, I cannot download a single app without running out of memory completely. Goga says, a point, when release posts. Eric Point says, not yet, but I have much practice. Eric the Point is a natural yogi. He does not need a posture for wind relief. Runner Boy says, just look up videos about it. Probably easy to understand. Gotcha. How do I do X? What can I do to make X work, etc.? Hey, thanks for dropping that link, Runner Boy. But it did not work. It took me right to Runner Boy's channel, which might have been his master plan all along. Little does he know that I was watching his channel anyway today. It didn't work. The link didn't work. Runner Boy says, have a look at the channel. It helped him. Moore says, with Google Gemini, it is available on the web. An app, upload a picture of you, and asks if design a YouTube thumbnail for me using this uploaded picture with a text overlay saying meditation. So here's a better question to ask you guys. Is it possible to earn just enough to meet expenses, to be happy on YouTube without doing any of that stuff? To be extremely low tech, to keep things simple, to keep things happy, not getting bogged down in everything having to be bigger, flashier, and better. Is there room for simplicity? Is there room for just an old guy talking about yoga philosophy and psychology and inspiration? Is that possible? Swing and a miss on that joke? On the on the gas relieving and the wind relieving posture? No, I think you nailed it. I think you nailed that one, Eric LaPointe. My cat has become fascinated with power chords, which is never a good thing. One of voice says, just type, better yet, I will cut and paste it. The channel with 1.9 million subs. Wow. Hard work, it says. My neighbor asked for me to come over and offered me milk, saying it would be sweet, but it was too sour. Then I realized that she was lactating. Ah, that's the joke. Swing and a miss on that joke. I don't know. That was pretty good. I appreciate the laugh, hard worker. One says, maybe by a stroke of luck, but usually everyone on the grind is on the grind in some capacity. One boy says, Ivan Dvorak does, but he stands out since he's really strong. You've talked about him before. Well, it says, I will let Better Minds handle it through my offer was made. I appreciate it. I would be really happy to pay you, William. Maybe it would be enough to help keep you in pistachio butter. Or in pistachios to make butter. What would you need? What would you need to do stuff on my channel? Austin says, how's everyone doing today? Pretty good, Austin. Runner Boy says, Austin, I'm very doing today. That's a lot of doing. Austin drops his link. Thank you, Austin. Runner Boy says, Austin, how am I doing today? I would say you're doing pretty good, Runner Boy. Hey, what's your session going to be tomorrow? What's your workout session going to be? Take my sleep supplement. All right. Tomorrow is deadlifts. This is the beginning of a new cycle. Get a thumbs up from Austin. So, circling back to Stuart the Fish Whisperer and anything is possible. I love people who take that stance. Again, as Stephen Pressfield calls it, turning pro. Nothing to do with making money, although making money is certainly a benefit that may arrive, but it's saying this is what I do. I'm a writer. I'm going to write every day. I'm a YouTuber. I'm going to be on YouTube every day. I try to blend that. You know, for me, this is an offshoot of my writing. Page was not available, Runner Boy. YouTube film producer. YouTuber film producer. Especially thinking about Bob on anything, how unhappy. This was Stuart was telling the story a bit, how unhappy he was for like a year or more at his job in an office, thinking he'd rather be doing anything other, but specifically thinking he would rather be fishing or in the woods or outdoors doing something. So he's making it happen. That showed me two things. It sort of hinted at me two things. One is re-inspiring me in my commitment. Two, to do anything I can to help support those guys. As well as anyone else who comes here and says, this is what I want. Whatever it is. That's why, you know, Austin, he says he wants to be monetized. So I'm happy to help. Runner Boy wants to be monetized as well, and he's getting closer and closer. Of course, the way to success is to be of service to other people. This page isn't available. Sorry about that. Try searching for something else. YouTube search. Hey, you know what? I've seen this guy before. As a matter of fact, I'm subscribed. I don't get the joke. It just said, try searching for something else. That's how dense I am. I didn't get it. Boy says there's a guy called Bearded Woodsman on YouTube, lots of subs, 20K to 100K per video. Wow. And he does not make enough to live on with 3 kids and a wife. I got 2 cats. And a house that's paid for. I just sold my car, sort of sadly. It was sad to let it go. So, you know, that's why I thought this is my shot, because I need so little. I eat frugally. Not a whole lot that I do anymore. If I were to do something more recreational, it would probably be ultra running again, which means I'd have to add to my ever increasing collection of running shoes, pay for races, maybe some traveling. It's not real expensive. It's a relatively inexpensive thing to do. I got lots of local races. You changed the name in the link I shared. Oh, okay, from Austin. Gotcha. It did not get that. Runner Boy has a really subtle sense of humor. Sometimes it's so subtle that it hits you right in the face and you just laugh out loud. Sometimes it's so subtle it sneaks up on you and you don't. Takes a few minutes before it hits you. So as I mentioned before, if I managed to make 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 or so on YouTube, which seems entirely possible, it would be the equivalent of earning 10,000 a month. Would I be rich, wealthy, or well off? Honestly, depends on how you look at it. I would be happy, and you can't put a price tag on happiness. My bills would be paid, mainly taxes that come twice a year, home insurance, that's the big stuff. I'd buy the occasional book. That's it. I'd kick back. Runner Boy says I put Austin is smelly in the link. I didn't see that. Oh, wait a minute. Now I see it. Now I see it. So, had I caught that at the beginning, it would have been much funnier. I ruined your joke. I apologize. So, yeah, I mentioned all this stuff before. I just, again, I felt re-inspired talking with Stuart the Fish Whisperer, and what he shared with me. As well, I mentioned before, Goga always inspires me. Let's see. Runner Boy says you need 25K views a month to make 1K, I believe. Which again seems possible. I can do that. I don't know how to do it right now, but I can do it. That's just from normal videos. Ah, okay, that makes it a little harder. That makes it a little harder. I can still do it. But you know what? All you can do is try. Here's the amazing thing about trying for the thing that you want. You're just as happy trying for the thing that you want when you're doing it from a place of just surrendering. You're just as happy when you're making that effort as you are if you achieve it. Again, this is why Krishna told Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita that you are entitled to your effort, you're entitled to your actions, but not the fruition, not the fruits of your action. That is always in the hands of God. You do your actions with a pure heart, with a sense of service, with a sense of love. And then you shrug. It's in God's hands. I took that approach with my dad's car today. I was walking up to the car shop. He told me that it was going to be over $3,000 in order to get it to pass the safety inspection. Plus, the safety inspection was going to cost me another $200. That's a lot. Right there would be about a year of the taxes that I have to pay. It would be probably over maybe even 2 years worth of food that I could buy. And then, of course, I'd still have to pay registration fees, all that other stuff. And I wasn't sure. He had said it on the phone when I said, well, I'll come pick up the car. I can't afford that. I'll figure something out. And he said, I'll buy it from you. And he would take a look at it and let me know when I got there. When I started walking there, I started thinking, I talked to Mocha, wondering, her views, talked to my brother. I even talked to my sister. I don't often talk with my sister. I got everyone's views. Most people seemed about on the same page. I wasn't sure how much she was going to offer for the car. And I started thinking that I've invested an awful lot of worry in this car. And I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it having over my head, going through all these steps, taking more and more money. So I started thinking, I'll take what he offers, whatever it is. I'm going to let it go. It's out of my hands. I will take what's offered. I will surrender ownership of the car. I don't mean just physically. I don't mean just signing papers. I mean surrendering my ego ownership, that I was worrying so much about it. I was connected to it. And it was pretty draining. So when I got there, I was expecting $500 because he knew he had me. Whatever. He said $1,200 and he would waive the fee for the safety inspection. I didn't have to pay it. But that was great. I was happy with that. But my happiness came when I surrendered the worrying about the car. Whatever was going to happen was going to happen. And I just knew I was done. So I drive so little. Every once in a while to a grocery store that's a little farther away, past my walking distance. If I shop for anything bigger, I'd go with Mocha. Doctor appointment, maybe once a year. Maybe not even that. Checkups. So, hey, if I got a beat up car with 100,000 miles on it that would get me from point A to point B, I'm good to go. So I'm on the lookout. That's why I was asking earlier if anyone ever knew anyone who bought a car from like Facebook Market. I saw several that were 1,000, 1,800. And here's what I want. Don't laugh. I want another Subaru Outback. And no, I'm not a soccer mom. I don't have a coexist bumper sticker that I want to put on there. I do believe in coexisting though. I like them. We talked about this the other day. Eric LaPointe remembered. Crocodile Dundee escaping the bad guys in a Subaru Outback. Eric Point says, what was wrong with your car? All kinds of stuff. It wasn't any one big thing. It needed rear brakes. It was a lot of rust. The car stood still for too long, unfortunately. Yeah, he had a big, long list of everything that needed to be done. My brother-in-law is a mechanic. I could have taken the list to him and said, you know, what can we do? But then I'd have to deal with my brother-in-law. It just seemed like so much. I've had my car to these guys for years and years. I've had my father's car. My brother's taken his car. Mocha's taken her car. And they've always been trustworthy. So I figured, and he knows whatever car that I'm going to get, I would bring to him. So he had like no reason to steer me in the wrong direction. And like I said, he could have said, I'll give you $500 for it. But he upped it a bit. I was happy with that. Eric Point says, yes, that can happen. So, you know, like I said, I don't mind a clunker. As long as the clunker is a Subaru Outback or a Forester. And they actually have good resale value. Or I can buy a Vespa. And I'm thinking about starting a Vespa gang. I'm tired of motorcycle gangs. I'm tired of bikers riding around in their Harley Davidsons thinking they're all badass. Wait until they see me on a Vespa. Wait until they see me and my gang on a bunch of scooters. We're going to set things right, guys. I'm taking applications. Anyone who wants to join my scooter gang, let me know. I'm pretty sure I can count on Eric LaPointe. Who wouldn't want to see Eric LaPointe on his scooter? I thought, you know, on weekends we could terrorize small towns together. Alana, my friend, how are you? Alana says, hi there, my friend. How are you doing today? Alana, I'm doing good. I hope you're well. I haven't seen you for a bit. Eric Point says, Vespa gangs, let's roll. All right. We got our first member. There's two of us now. It takes two to be a, well, actually, I think we need one more to be a gang. No, we need four. We need four total. If it's just two, it's a Vespa duo. And you know what? A Vespa duo, that's not going to scare anyone. We can't terrorize a small town with just a duo. Even if we're wearing denim cutoff vest with Vespa patches on the back, we're still not going to be able to terrorize. And then if we have three, it's even worse. It's the trio, right? Trios just aren't very scary. When you get to four, now we're talking. Lana says, I was in the hospital. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. How are you? Are you doing better? So, of course, you know, Runner Boy will be in charge of the Irish chapter. Eric Point says true. We have to work on the details. Yes, we do. Patches on the back, the handshake. You got to have a Vespa handshake. You got to have a gang handshake. Alana said I had another baby. That is pretty amazing, my friend. Well, congratulations to you. I hope you and your baby, and I hope you and your first baby are doing well. Eric Point says it's a high five, and Malcolm will be jealous. That's true. That's an excellent point. However, that means that I might alienate Mocha from being my Vespa babe. You got biker chicks. I'm thinking Vespa babes. So, man, I don't know if I can afford to alienate her. Because if we don't have Vespa babes, we're just a bunch of, old guys riding around on scooters. That's not very cool. I'll be honest with you. I'm in it for the chicks. Erica Point is laughing. Lana says, thanks, my friend. First baby's doing well. That's good to hear. I'm glad, my friend. And of course, we take yoga breaks. Gangs can do that, right? Gangs can take yoga breaks. Maybe meditate in the park a bit. I might be ruining this whole gang concept. I might need to revise my image of gangs. I actually had friends and friends' fathers who were in the pagans. And I've been to quite a few parties with the pagans, and it was always a dicey situation because you knew if you did something at that party that was slightly off-putting to someone, there would be an altercation, and it wasn't just you and another person. It was you and everyone that was in the pagans against you. It wasn't a fight. It was a stomping. And I've actually seen people get stomped. I was never on that end myself, fortunately, because one of my friend's father was fairly high up in the pagans. It gave me a little sense of safety, but not enough that I was ever at ease or comfortable. Eric Point says, I say that the woman drive and rear it on the back. That's how we roll. I'm in. I can do that. Absolutely. I like the thought of just kicking back anyway. I pulled up on an outdoor biker bar filled with Harley Davidsons on a Yamaha Enduro that belonged to a girl that I was seeing very briefly, and everyone turned. I was on the back. It was her bike. Every single biker turned and looked. One, a Yamaha Enduro at a Harley Davidson bar. Two, me being on the back with a woman driving, and everyone was looking, and we walked up. We were going, it was, like I said, an outdoor bar. We walked up, and I could just feel everyone looking at me, and I turned, and I looked back, and I said, what? She's hot. And everyone smiled. Yeah, good point. You got a good point. Pays to break the ice. It pays to break the ice. And the truth is, she was pretty hot. She says, get on the back. I'm 17 years old. What do? I get on the back. I had no problem with that whatsoever. And you know, when you explain it, and you explain it in very simple terms, she's hot. Everyone's been there. Every guy has been there. Every guy has done something sort of stupid for the sake of a girl. Tell me you haven't. Eric Point says, I love this story. They've had an interesting life. Eric Point says, we have all been there and more. Absolutely. Everyone's got a, I'm trying to impress a girl story. Every guy has a, I'm trying to impress a girl story. Man, when I think how much effort I put in all those years, from the age of 11 to the age of 59, trying to impress girls. Now, to be fair, from the age of 37, when I met Mocha, it was only about one girl. Eric Point says, true. Who knew I just needed to be myself? Isn't that amazing? Absolutely amazing how it works. Be yourself and the right person shows up. Whatever you continuously chase is always going to elude you, no matter what it is. Because the essence of what you want is already there, but it just needs to be revealed. That's why I mentioned before, St. Catherine of Siena says, all the way to heaven is heaven. All the way to your authentic self is your authentic self. Who was it? Was it E.E. Cummings? Let me look that up. Here you go, Eric Point. I think you'll like this. I love E.E. Cummings' poems. To be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best day and night to make you like everyone else means to fight the hardest battle which any human can fight and never stop fighting. I'll read that one more time. To be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best day and night to make you like everyone else means to fight the hardest battle which any human being can fight and never stop fighting. Which is true. I often go back to the stories of, you know, when we were kids and we were told to color in the lines and what crayons to use. We were told when we said what we wanted to be when we grew up that you can't be that. It's too hard, it's too difficult, it doesn't exist, whatever. Eric Point says, I love it. Yeah, it's a beautiful quote. Stayed with me for years. However, and I'm going to end on this note. Here's the one thing, I just wanted to put it there for anyone who happens to stroll by. Here's one thing that I would change. Here's a realization that I came to a little while back, where he says it means to fight the hardest battle which any human can fight and never stop fighting. I think I disagree with that. I love the beauty of it, and I agreed with it for a long time, and I fought that battle for a long time. But here's a great truth that Eric LaPointe pointed out up at the top. Who knew I just needed to be myself? So it's simpler than we make it out to be. That the world does try to shape you in its image, and it will succeed. And for a long time, it might be good to fight that, but ultimately, instead of fighting it, you surrender to who you are, and the fight is over. Because then you can't be changed. You surrender to who you are completely, and who you are is a never-ending unfolding. It's not static. I think sometimes that's a mistake that we make when we think, who am I? And we're looking for an unchanging, static figure. This is who I am, and I stand tall, I stand proud, it's never going to change. Everything changes. You are the change itself. Every single molecule in your body, every cell in your body has already been replaced multiple times, hundreds of times, just in the past decade. It's easy to be yourself. The problem is we either forget or we hide it. Sometimes we hide it so well that we do forget. Or we think we can't do it. Eric LaPointe says, well said. Thank you, Eric. You know, I wrote about that. It's on my community page this morning. I have people every day who want to come in and tell me how I look, how I talk, what I think, what I do is not the way to do it, which is ridiculous. It's not the way you might want to do it, which is absolutely fine. And I would never tell you you need to do it like this. But it all serves as a reminder to literally accept myself. And better yet, accept myself as mystery. That I'm not a fixed thing. Eric LaPointe says, yes, it's so easy, it's hard because of overthinking. Absolutely. Yeah, that sums it up right there. And amazingly so, because of overthinking. And then here's what sucks, is that we believe everything we think by virtue of thinking it is true, or it's real, or that it has meaning. But it doesn't. Thoughts are just energy. You know, there's self-inquiry, a thought experiment of who would you be without this thought? If you believe that you are too much of anything. If you, let's say, if I believe that I'm too short, if I believe I'm too, whatever, pick anything, I'm too bald, who would I be in the absence of that thought? Who would I be in the absence of the word and concept bald? I would just be. It would just be. This is why Shakespeare, or I don't know if Squirrel Sniper is still hanging out. It might be Sir Francis Bacon. There's a debate on who actually wrote Shakespeare's stuff. Nothing is good nor bad lest thinking makes it so. Our thoughts define everything, but our thoughts aren't always correct. They're not always right. Neither are opinions, neither are beliefs. The vast majority of them were given to us by parents, by teachers, by siblings, by clergy, by commercials, by books. Sniper says, when I played golf, I had a bad period, real bad. A chap came up, asked to see a swing. I hooked it as usual. He asked if I had anything in my pocket. I had a tee marker. He said, put it in the other pocket, and I hit another drive. It was dead straight. Wow. It's the little things that we never think of. One thing and all the difference in the world. I always go back to, and I've told this lots and lots of times, when Michelangelo was asked how he carved David from a single block of stone, and he said he didn't. That David was always in the stone, and he took away everything that was not David. I always thought that was absolutely beautiful. And it is an apt metaphor for life. We're born pure and innocent, and we acquire baggage, emotional baggage, physical baggage, psychological baggage, spiritual baggage, all through life. And then we reach a certain age where we are like a single block of stone. And in order to reveal ourselves, we need to take away everything that we're not. Carl Jung calls it the shadow, that we spend the first half of our life collecting all the things that we refuse to own, all the darkness and the good. And we drag it behind us in a big dark bag, which is our shadow. We project the shadow outwards. But if we're lucky, we can reach a point, maybe midlife-ish, where we start to empty that bag. We empty the shadow. The thing with the shadow, it's all the stuff that we refuse to own, which we generally think of as bad stuff. I refuse to own my guilt. I refuse to own my judgment. I refuse to own the petty little things that everyone thinks but doesn't want anyone to know that they think it. Of course we all do. But it's also the good stuff. Anyone that you admire, anyone that you have that you think of as a hero type, qualities that you possess that you're unable to recognize, so you project it outwards. It's all a projection. So if you look at someone that you really admire and you finally come to that realization that I possess those qualities, you can accept it as an archetype and invoke it as a presence in your life. The great thing with a hero, you can give up the hero worship and realize that they are offering you the gift of reflecting who and what you truly are. What a great gift. The same with someone that comes in who is not so nice, who is petty, who is aggressive or mean. They are also offering you the gift of reflection, and you get to own it. And when you do, it dissipates. I took a leap and a stab using that word. I think I nailed it. Sniper says, he said I was not thinking about the drive, but it was, but why was I doing such a silly thing with a tee marker? Interesting. It's amazing the difference that made. Let's see. The point says, I learn things every day. Right or wrong, but I learn. That is a good one, Yogi. Can you say that again about the statue? Eric Point says, nailed it. Yep. Michelangelo was asked how he managed to carve David out of a single block of stone, which is pretty incredible. You look at David and you recognize the beauty, the work of art, but when you consider that it's from one block of stone, somehow Michelangelo saw David in the stone. I talked about this with Scroll Sniper before. Saw David in the stone, and he took away everything that was not David. The authentic Eric Lapointe has always been present. Can't go anywhere. Can't be anything different than what he already is. However, There's been a lot of baggage for all of us. So now, in the process, removing all the non-essential, all the things that have been acquired but aren't needed any longer, all the posturing, all of the, man, I spent decades posturing, had to be tougher than someone else, had to be stronger than someone else, had to be, in the gym longer, I had to do this, all things that I wasn't. That's not to say that those things didn't serve me in some way, but at some point we begin to let them go because we want to reveal our authentic self, which, as Abraham Maslow said, independent of the good opinion of others. Independent of the good opinion of others. We are unswayed by opinions, good or bad, because we simply are. And we're resting assured in our truest identity, which is no less than connected to God. Get rid of the God, get rid of the word God, connected to the Tao, connected to the universe, connected to reality itself. If you are reality itself, how can you possibly wrong? How can you possibly be wrong with who you are? The entire universe conspired for you to be. Imagine I don't even have a number of the billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of particles that exist. And imagine that all these right and specific particles had to be gathered together by some specific force. And that made you. What are the odds of that even happening? Eric Point says, true, Yogi. But it's a process. As Eric and I were talking about up above, and he said, who knew all I had to do was be myself? It's amazing to think about. We didn't know. So we had to do all that stuff that we did in order to know. Had we known, we wouldn't have to do all that stuff. But we didn't know. That's the lesson in forgiveness. The lesson in forgiveness is we had to do what we had to do because we didn't know any better. So we forgive ourselves. But then you got to extend it to someone else. They had to do what they had to do. And some are still doing because they simply don't know any better. If they did, they would do something different because it's not bringing them happiness. Eric Point says, Eric Point, were you here yesterday when I mentioned the etymology of the word nice? He fits that. Eric Point is pointing up. My cat just meowed at me. I didn't, let's see. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. Eric Point says, Yogi, yes, pointing up. Well, that was pretty pointless, wasn't it? All right, where was I? Oh, yeah, one time Squirrel Sniper and I were talking about, because of his tree carvings. Inside the tree already exist the shamans of the totem tribes in the American Northwest, along the coast of Northern California, Oregon, Washington State, up into British Columbia. They would make their totems, and they would see the totem already in the tree. they would go and they would look for the totem in the specific tree. They didn't look at trees. They already knew the totem was there. So they would look through the tree to see what was already there. The same with the Iroquois in the Northeast. They would see the canoe already in the birch bark. That's the art of forgiveness. When you see someone, you don't see all the mistakes. Doesn't mean that you don't recognize. Maybe someone's not trustworthy. You don't forgive and say, well, now I'm going to trust you. You still don't trust them, but you can forgive and not trust someone. Eric says, bet you know this, but the most important person on the poll is the bottom. I actually didn't know that. Huh. I didn't know that at all. That's interesting, Eric. So imagine if we took the totem approach to everyone that we met. We looked at them and we saw through the facade of all the mistakes. And we saw that David already exists within the stone of their being. Eric's point says, carrying everyone. Squirrel Semper says, just like the weakest link. Nice. I like the way that played out. Let's see. Brian said I had to stop at 201 pumps today. I think I drank too much water and ate hour before, made my gut hurt, so stopped at 200. Hey, you can't be upset with 200 reps, Brian. Sniper says, the strongest is just as strong as the weakest link, I should have said. Nice. Brian says, wish everyone a blessed day. Thank you, Brian. Eric Point says, smart Brian. We get a salute. Yeah, Brian's been around the block long enough. That's like with Jace and how smart he was. You knew he really wanted to push for 1,000. And you know what? He probably could have. But would it have been worth it? He thought better of it, made the right decision. 2 days later, he's back doing what he loves to do. Listening to the body. Brian says, thanks, Eric. Absolutely. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap things up. I'll be back in the morning. I'm going to continue reading from my book, if anyone is interested. I can tell you for a fact that it is filled with all kind of words. That's the one fact that I can tell you. It is filled with all kinds of words. Some big words, some short words, some consonants. We got all kinds of letters. So stay tuned. Show up tomorrow, and I will offer you some words. Eric Point says, another great live. Thank you, Eric. Thank you guys for sticking with me. It was a great ending. I loved our finishing conversation. And don't forget, everyone is invited to join the Erics, the LaPointe and McCarty Vespa scooter gang. It's in the works. It's going to happen. Sniper says, 1,000 Brian Lane, you earned it, my friend. He certainly did. It's an easy read, Brian. Hey, you know what? Send me your Send me your address on Messenger, and I'll send you a copy. I'd be happy to. I'll get it sent right over from Amazon. And if anyone else wants a copy, let me know. I'll be happy to send it to you guys. Eric Lapointe says yes. Eric Lapointe is in charge of the Connecticut chapter. Let's broaden it out. He's in charge of the Northeast chapter. I'm involved in the Mid-Atlantic chapter. And I'm going to challenge any other Vespa scooter gang to back it up. Let's see what you got, guys. It's going to be a rumble. It's going to be a scooter rumble. Scooter rumble. Brian says, well, really, Eric, I really appreciate that. If you're sure, absolutely. Would love to. Just send me your address and I'll have it sent right out. It has a book that's been read by possibly dozens of people. How's that for impressive, guys? Dozens of worldwide readers. I joke about it, but I'll be honest. I wrote a book. I'm happy. What amazes me, there was absolutely nothing. I looked at an empty page. This was on a yellow legal pad that I wrote it on. Blank. And I waited. And words from nowhere came to me. I wrote it down. And it became a book. I will be forever happy, forever grateful for the ability to sit and listen. I had someone I did a book signing, and someone scrolled by, picked up my book, skimmed through it, barely glanced at anything, tossed it down on the table, and said, I could have done that. And sort of smirked at me. Mocha was there for that, actually. And I said, true, you could have done that, but you didn't. That's the difference. Everyone has a book in them. Everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has a work of art, whatever that might be. Here's a question. Are you putting it out there? It doesn't have to be a book. It could be an awesome YouTube video. It could be whatever. But all of us have it. But not everyone's going to do it. And it's a shame, because everyone should allow beauty to be expressed through them. Every single person. And everyone should be encouraged to do so. Every kid should be given a coloring book and a box of crayons and said, go to town. What does the ocean look like to you? Is it purple? Then make it a purple ocean. Is the grass black? Then black grass is absolutely beautiful and perfect. Color outside the lines. As a matter of fact, don't even worry about lines. Pretend they don't exist. So the last thing, imagine a kid who grew up with that. That would be a game changer. That would be the paradigm shift. All right, Eric Point says facts. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the conversation. Definitely made it worth me sticking in for a while. So thanks again. I will see everyone later. And yeah, Brian, send me your address. All right. Take care, guys.